This is Nightline.
Tonight, Son of Sam.
All I ask from people, you see, is to be open-minded.
The chilling new interview with the serial killer.
If you could go back to young David, what advice would you say to that David?
I would say, Dave, run for your life. Get help.
How he taunted police and terrorized New York City.
These people in this neighborhood won't stand for that, especially a sick maniac like that.
The saga launched the nation's true crime obsession.
He wanted the notoriety of Jack the Ripper.
Now accused in another decades-old crime. Why, he says, he didn't do it. Plus, confessions of a child star.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
From a scene-stealing appearance in the music video Work It with Missy Elliott.
It's your primitive plan.
To a starring role in the cult classic Camp Rock.
Word of advice, you want to be friends with Tess? Don't be.
People in the performing arts.
Alyson Stoner is now peeling back the curtain on the trials and triumphs of childhood stardom.
I realized no one had ever unpacked why they seem to have the same kind of downward spirals.
What they say really happened when they auditioned for a role in Hunger Games.
I volunteer! I volunteer!
Where did you get the strength to seek help?
And Taylor Swift dropped some big news.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a new interview with David Berkowitz, the serial killer dubbed the Son of Sam, who terrorized New York City in the late 1970s and some say spawned America's fixation with all things true crime.
All I ask from people, you see, is to be open-minded.
The first thing you might notice, David Berkowitz doesn't sound like how you think a serial killer would.
To cross the line, to me, it was frightening, you know. The feeling of power. I didn't enjoy it. I just needed to do it.
Unlike in the movies, there's no deep and dangerous growl, no threats of violence. It's hard to imagine that this man with a high voice, speaking so conversationally,
I was out every night like clockwork committing my crimes.
is a stone-cold serial killer.
He comes across as a bit of a neppy guy, you know, like always wanting to please. What I've learned in 30 years of crime filmmaking is that the people who do evil in this world are the ones you least expect and most often trust.
We're hearing Berkowitz now thanks to a new hit docuseries on Netflix, Conversations with the Killer, the Son of Sam tapes, including interviews with him from more than 4 decades ago, and some just months ago with director Joe Berlinger.
If you could go back to young David, what advice would you say to that David?
I would say, Dave, run for your life. Get help.
Why Son of Sam and why now?
I look at this case as a foundational case in our current obsession with true crime, where David Berkowitz literally had the city gripped in fear before the 24-hour news cycle, before social media.
It's hard to overstate the grip that the Son of Sam had on New York City back in the summers of 1976 and 77. In a series of seemingly random shootings, the Son of Sam killed 6 people and injured 7, while threatening to kill more. Many people were afraid to go outside.
There's not half as many people out now as there was before. Everybody's going inside.
I was a kid growing up in New York City when the Son of Sam killings happened. Before Berkowitz was captured, the fear in New York was palpable. I mean, you had women changing their hairstyles.
So I just cut my hair. It was about this length. I cut it short because of the .44 caliber killer. I thought about the killer, and I'm not going to cut my hair. I figure if he's going to come, he's going to get you. You're not going to know it, so I'm not going to cut my hair about it. I'm not going to do it.
It was a uniquely 70s serial murder.
Newspapers, television.
With the death yesterday of 20-year-old Sandy Moskowitz, what was already the largest manhunt in this city's history was intensified even further.
All focused on the manhunt for the serial killer. What was unique about him, you think?
Well, I think because he was looking for attention. He wanted the notoriety of Jack the Ripper. You know, a lot of serial killers don't want to be caught, don't leave clues, try to get away with it for as long as they can.
Part of Berkowitz's reign of terror revolved around letters he would send to investigators and the press, mocking police and vowing to commit more crimes.
Sam's a thirsty lad, and he won't let me stop killing till he gets his fill of blood.
Dear Mr. Jimmy Breslin, hello from the gutters of NYC.
Once you start writing notes taunting police and you get caught, it makes your defense a lot harder. I think that Berkowitz knew that. I mean, the minute he gets caught, he says, "You got me."
Berkowitz spoke to ABC News back in 2001 when some of those letters were being sold as memorabilia, something he opposed.
The sale of these things really grieves my heart. I'm terribly ashamed for the things that I had done in the past. I know what a nightmare it is to see these things marketed.
At the time of the crimes, Berkowitz seemed to relish the attention and nearly always targeted victims in pairs, like women sitting with their boyfriends in parked cars. Police eventually arrested Berkowitz in 1977, thanks to a parking ticket near a crime scene. And he confessed, saying he killed 6 people and injured 7 others because he was obeying the orders of a demon in the form of a black dog named Sam. He later admitted the dog and devil story was a hoax, but it captivated the city and nation nonetheless.
This was a bit of a game for Berkowitz. And it almost seems it was a game he knew he was going to eventually lose.
In the decade since Berkowitz went to prison, sentenced to 25 years to life times 6, the Son of Sam continues to fascinate, from books to music to movies. Spike Lee directed the 1999 film Summer of Sam.
Police received a letter from the .44 caliber killer, calling himself the Son of Sam.
Berkowitz was even portrayed in the popular TV series Mindhunter, talking to FBI agents about his crimes.
I'm not some crazed sex killer. I needed a name that explained who I really was.
Documentarian Joe Berlinger is the latest to delve into Berkowitz's story for Conversations with the Killer, the 4th in the series, which has also profiled Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Jeffrey Dahmer.
The Son of Sam killer was a dangerous wild card.
Over the years, Berkowitz has offered several different explanations for his crimes, but many experts link his motive to psychological issues and a desire for notoriety.
There's criticism with our obsession with crime and serial killers that films like yours, documentaries, or even the recent Hollywood versions of Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer give a platform or glamorize serial killers. What do you say to that?
Well, I think there's a little bit of truth to all of that, depending on the production and the intention of the filmmaker. And I think there's lots of good reasons to tell these stories and lots of bad reasons to tell these stories irresponsibly.
While most of the tape conversations featured are from 1980, just a few years after the crimes, for the docuseries, Berlinger did talk to Berkowitz in a new phone interview.
Hey, David. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm hanging in there by the grace of God. I'm doing okay. Thank you.
What was it like to talk with David Berkowitz today in our current time? He's now in his 70s.
I was hesitant to speak to him today because I didn't want him to reframe the crime with 40 years of hindsight. But I decided, because there's new information in the show about a new victim, so I felt an obligation to speak to him.
That victim, Wendy Savino. She's now considered the first in Berkowitz's crime spree. Savino survived her shooting. The NYPD officially linked her to the Son of Sam last year, though Berkowitz was never tried for the crime, and he denies shooting Savino.
You saw my face. I saw your face, David. You can't deny you shot me. I saw you doing it.
Here's a guy who's been in prison for, 4 decades. It was so important to him, to say, I did not do this.
Berkowitz has reportedly embraced Christianity while behind bars. He often writes essays on faith and repentance for evangelical websites.
I said to him, if you could speak to the young David back in 1975, before you started doing these crimes, what would you say to him? And he said, I'd say to my younger self, run, get help. And that touched me very deeply, because I do think we have a mental health crisis of young men.
The 72-year-old is entitled to parole hearings every 2 years. However, Berkowitz has consistently refused to ask to be released, even once writing that he felt he deserved to be in prison for the rest of his life. His next parole hearing is in May.
I cannot see how he would ever get paroled.
What do you want people to take away after watching Conversations with a Killer?
The people who do these things are people who are hurting, who have mental health issues, have mental health crises. That doesn't excuse it, you know. Lots of people have mental health crises and don't turn into serial killers.
Up next, Alyson Stoner, star of Cheaper by the Dozen, peels back the curtain on fame and working with stars like Demi Lovato. Welcome back. Alyson Stoner is a former child star, all too familiar with the pitfalls of fame. Her new memoir goes behind the scenes of the frequently rough terrain of young stardom and how to come out on the other side. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
You may remember Alyson Stoner and those unforgettable pigtails. Work It with Missy Elliott in that chart-smashing single. Or playing one of 12 siblings in blockbuster franchises like Cheaper by the Dozen.
She hardly ever comes home since she started dating that doorknob.
And the voice of best friend Isabella in Phineas and Ferb.
I had a big crush on you.
Wow, I had no idea.
But that child star has grown up and is peeling back the curtain in a new tell-all memoir, semi-well-adjusted despite literally everything.
If the term semi-well-adjusted despite literally everything isn't the unofficial mood of 2025 for all of us, I don't know what is.
Why did you want to write this book?
I recognized this flurry of memoirs and documentaries focused on high-performing children, and I realized no one had ever unpacked why they seem to have the same kind of downward spirals and challenges, and no one focused on what we could do to intervene.
Now 32 years old, Stoner, detailing moving from the Midwest to LA, auditioning for roles at age 6, with that big break coming as a 9-year-old working alongside Missy Elliott.
What I wasn't prepared for was then walking outside and suddenly the world having access to me, my physical body included, folks running up and wanting hugs, and you know, it's like, au revoir, stranger danger.
You also wrote, I just turned 9, but childhood was over. What did you mean by that?
By the time I was 9, I was no longer in school. Financially, I was taking on pressures, not necessarily to provide for my entire family, but to make sure that this industry machine and my career kept going.
Was there ever a point when you said, Mom, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this anymore?
I recall that my family was quite supportive and didn't explicitly pressure me ever to continue working. And I noticed that when I was easy to work with, I was rewarded not only with more callbacks, but abilities to work.
But Stoner detailing that fame and success came at a cost. They became a workaholic and eventually developed an eating disorder.
I was losing weight. I was even starting to grow fine hair on my body called lanugo as a form of self-insulation. It's a survival strategy of the body. Had my health not started deteriorating, I don't know if I ever would have unpacked all of these issues.
Their disorder spiraling when Stoner was preparing to audition for the lead role of Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games.
I convinced a world-renowned medical weight loss camp to approve me, while I was underweight and only 17 years old, to join a program for 2 weeks of 7 hours of daily exercise on a calorie deficit.
Shortly after Stoner was rejected for that role, they checked into a mental health facility.
Where did you get the strength to seek help?
If I'm being honest, I don't know that it felt like strength. I think it was a desperate cry for help, coupled with a self-sacrificial willingness to do anything to be able to work more. So it was actually still informed by my workaholic tendencies.
I won't dance.
Stoner's extensive resume includes cult classics like Step Up and Camp Rock.
Your music. Are you any good? I don't know. Maybe. Kinda.
The book detailing interactions with co-stars like the Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato.
You also wrote about your experience on Camp Rock and discovering that Demi Lovato also had an eating disorder. Do you feel like body dysmorphia was almost the norm among child stars?
I actually think experiences with body image are ubiquitous in this society and culture that highlights certain beauty standards. I think they are intensified when the child themselves is asked to uphold, to adhere to these beauty standards, or else they will not be hired or treated as well.
So it's a combination of all eyes on you, but then also you're going 100 miles an hour every day, constantly for years.
While keeping a smile on your face.
What was it like reuniting with Missy in 2019?
I received a text from Missy's longtime choreographer, creative director, and she says, "What do you think about joining Missy on stage for the VMAs?" I decided as long as I committed to kind of rewriting this experience from this more embodied, healthier place and perspective, that I was willing to give it a try. It's a very high-risk situation to give a try, but it ended up being quite a healing and full-circle moment.
People in the performing arts. Stoner now works as a mental health practitioner, launching a digital course for artists navigating the entertainment industry.
We provide therapist-led content to support well-being, and within that, we have our Artist Wellbeing Essentials Toolkit so that they know how to get into and out of character safely, but then we can't stop there at the level of the individual.
They hope to make change for current child actors and influencers. Stoner demanding industry-wide change.
I also want to see legislation protecting young kids' finances, their right to revoke consent upon turning 18 in case photos and videos have been posted of them without their deep understanding of the implications of that. So this isn't just about supporting the young artists themselves, it's also about redesigning the environment around them.
Our thanks to Jacqueline. Send Me Well Despite Literally Everything is out tomorrow. And up next, Taylor Swift drops some big news. And finally tonight, big news from Taylor Swift. The singer announcing new music just minutes ago. Fans in a frenzy.
We are staying up till midnight because what is this?
After a trail of breadcrumbs that only true Swifties could decipher, like this post on her official website with its expiration date of August 12th at 12:12 a.m. 12 is a big deal because this is her 12th album, the color orange also offering a big hint. And there was also this, a promo teasing an appearance on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast. New Heights posted on the show's social media. The episode drops Wednesday. And that's Nightline for this evening. Watch our full episodes on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.